So we're going to talk then primarily about primary observational research. What is this observational research? Well, it's sometimes called ethnographic research or ethnography because it comes originally out of the study of social anthropology, which is the observation of culture and the observation of people. And it helps us learn how an activity occurs in the real world. It's very, very much fly on the wall. It's important to not affect the situation that you're in. So we don't want people to do set-piece demonstrations. We want them to just do it the way you do it every day. And often, after 10, 15 minutes, you'll notice that subjects that we're observing will kind of forget that we're there, and they'll just go back to doing things the way they always do them. And that's when we're a good fly on the wall. It's important that observers blend in and don't influence the activity that's being carried out, because then our data is false. And what are the 4 Ps in observational research? Well, they are process. That's the thing that's being carried out, the task, what actually happens. It's usually the largest of the Ps, it's the richest thing that we're looking at, and it's a complete chronological capture of what happens from beginning to end. The next P is people. Who is involved and how? So we're capturing what they're doing, but also who is doing it, maybe what is their background training, where are they standing, how are they moving around, and how are they carrying out this task. So we're interested in the stakeholders involved. So who cleans it, who uses it, who takes it after it's been made dirty, what happens to it next, where does it go after it leaves the room, who are the other people involved in this process. What products are they using? So in an operating room or a car mechanic's garage, what products are they using? And how do they interact with them? Because what we're looking for is opportunities to make many of those products better, or even ideally take them away so they don't need to be there at all. So products are important. And then the last P is place. Where is this happening? And it's not just, well, it's happening in a garage. Well, what's that environment like? What does the foot traffic look like? Where do they have to go to get things? Where are the spanners in relation to the working area? So the environment affects often the way products are used, the way people behave, and ultimately the way the process is carried out. So place is very important. In an operating room, you can imagine that's almost like an orchestrated environment. But you see lots of redundant foot traffic, people going back and forth, and people looking for things that they can't find, having to go out of the room. So the place is an important thing that we like to record. Conducting observational research, it's often best to observe as a pair, allowing different people to focus on different aspects of different Ps during the time that you're observing. Because it's impossible to observe all 4 Ps at the same time. You'd probably go crazy. It's important, however, to not overwhelm a subject or a situation. So you can't put 10 people into a situation or even 5 people into an operating room because A, they'll get in the way, but also they'll potentially alter the behavior of people there. They'll alter the flow. They'll alter the way things happen. So we don't want to affect that because then we're getting false data and gathering false insight. So it's important not to overwhelm. So 1 is hard, 2 is good, 3 is probably actually ideal. But you've got to counter that and temper that based on the situation. So we record our observations by taking detailed notes for each of the 4 Ps, and we take those notes into an observation guide. And we're trying to take in the whole scene, all of the Ps as we record, as we go through. Now you might ask, well, why can't I just video? And in some situations you absolutely can video, and we can talk about those later in this course. But for example, in an operating room or perhaps in a school classroom, it might not be practical to video, or people might, for privacy reasons, not want you videoing, or knowing that they're on camera might change their behavior, whereas you're just standing quietly in the corner taking notes on a clipboard. That's much less threatening sometimes. So it's a very good skill to develop the ability to be able to write and look at the same time, and often that is the go-to way of doing this, rather than just videoing and having a nice time with our arms crossed and then watching it later on. That's often not the way that it works, and if we're there in real time taking real-time notes, we've got to capture everything because we don't get to do a do-over. So observational research can yield very, very rich insight into unarticulated, unmet and underserved needs if observers look through appropriately trained eyes. I say looking through the right eyes, and we'll train you in this course how to look through the right eyes and notice these unmet and underserved, unarticulated needs.